What is going on, everybody? Happy 2000, almost 26. 2025, it's almost done. And I guess you can say this is the first time that I'm doing one of these, my most worn watches of 2000 anything, because I've never done this before. This is pretty interesting. I've got a little selection of 8 pieces here. I really only wear 5 of these the most. I've worn a lot, all my watches actually, but these are the ones I really wear the most and I get the most use out of. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and show you all 80 plus of my watches. A lot of them I built myself, so I'm not gonna show all the ones that I've built. Most of these are ones I've built but mean something to me, and or ones that I've collected, ones that I've fixed, ones that were my first one, and I still wear those the most. So today we're gonna go over my most worn watches of 2025. All right, let's go ahead and start with this Timex. Now, the story behind this Timex, it's not anything real special. Basic Timex Weekender chronograph. It came on a leather and nylon NATO. It actually came on the blue nylon NATO, and I switched over to the leather. I'd wear it back and forth. But then as I really started getting into this, I was like, what happens if I go ahead and throw it on another clasp? And I went ahead and got a new strap and a new clasp, and it's a perforated sports leather strap, brown with a butterfly clasp. I love it. And I still use the NATOs, but I think this one really suits how I best wear this watch. Now, it's just your simple Timex Weekender chronograph. Nothing special about it, but it's got a great dial. It's got that old military field-esque kind of look, derived from, you know, the looks of World War II watches. It's got that blue dial, bold, big, beautiful blue, or with the big, bold, beautiful blue dial with the Arabic numbers. It's just, it reads really well, and it's got the Indiglo. I'll roll some B-roll for you guys, you know I will. But yeah, so this, I've had this since maybe 2019, late 18, something like that, but this was my first watch that I got as an adult. I've had plenty of other watches growing up as a kid, you know, ones that have gotten smashed, ones I didn't care too much about. I had a cheap watch. I even had some nice watches, ones that I even messed up, but this one was the first one that, as an adult, I made a decision. I want to go get a watch, and I want to get something that fits my personality. And yeah, I'd say so. It's a chronograph. Fits my personality. My first adult purchased watch was a chronograph. Only a Timex, but it was a chronograph, and I still wear that, and I wear that a lot, especially in 2025. All right, so moving on. We've kind of got the next piece. Now, if you know about what we're doing here at Time Panda, you know that I absolutely love chronographs, and I was mainly inspired and always have been inspired by the Daytona chronograph. Although I did love the Paul Newman, I've always loved motorsports, so I, you know, followed Paul Newman, and when I started recognizing watches at a younger age, I definitely recognized the Daytona as well as many of the other Rolex. But the Daytona, the sporty feel of it, I've always been interested in, like timing, racing. So this is just spoke to me. So I said, I can't get a Daytona, but I can build a watch. So I started looking for parts, and I found this awesome dial. It's actually a picture of a panda, in case you guys can't see that. And here's the actual dial. And I decided to build this up, and this watch, I built it up right before we actually went to Coda to do some filming and shooting for Formula One, and I wore this thing everywhere. I loved it, and I wore this one especially very frequently right when I started building it. It was right at the beginning of what we're doing here at Time Panda. But this one kind of started the whole thing. It's got all the same proportions. It feels, I mean, obviously not the same weights, but it does have that mecha quartz movement, and it does have the snap chronograph. So it's all got the great feels, and it's got a really cool picture of a panda. Come on, how cool is that? So I built this one up, and a lot of people liked it and started asking questions about it, until finally I wound up selling my first one. That's when I was like, you know what, maybe I can do something with this whole building watches thing. Not a lot of people can do it, and I appreciate it and enjoy it and thoroughly love watches and know quite a bit about watches. So I was like, I'll go ahead and start building up some watches. And this watch is how Time Panda started, kind of. All right, now we're gonna move on to once again, there are not going to be any grail pieces in here. There's not going to be anything super extravagant or no huge Rolex or Protect Philippe or AP or anything like this. No, no, that's not right now. That's not what this is about. These are just my favorite watches that I wore throughout the year. And I don't have anything huge and massively expensive like that. Working on it. Who wants to help me out? Let's go. But what I will do is we will now move on to these pieces. Now, as this journey started, I picked up this watch. I started building back in October of last year, right before Coda. Next, I started picking up other watches, and that's where, I've always been a big Seiko fan. And this year, I wore this watch quite a bit. It's a 1966, 67, somewhere around here. But I love it. It's I call it a beater, because this watch, it's the Seiko 5, and I think it's got a pretty cool, like, deco look to it. Just kind of retro and classic. Here you go, I'll show it to you. But when I got it, I picked it up as a bundle, sorry. And in the bundle came a couple of runners, but this one wasn't running. So I said, you know what, I wonder if I could take this apart and mess with it a little bit and get it going. So this was actually the first piece that I took apart and actually successfully fixed. We're not going to say it's the first piece I took apart and started fixing, because that happened back in 1986 with a Seiko Astronaut. One where you could rotate the bezel and you can change it to like alarm, stopwatch, timer, stuff like this. Well, I messed that up and tried to fix it as a kid, never got it fixed. But as an adult, this I was able to get running again. And the reason I call it my beater watch, not only because it's my go anywhere, do anything, I love wearing it, it fits with everything, it kind of fits my style. I like vintage stuff and I like older stuff and keeping things going, and I think this is just a cool piece to have. But I also call it the beater because it is an automatic wind and it does not have the manual wind. I can't wind it. So you have to, most people shake it, but you consider just kind of tap it like this, and by beating it, you get it moving. So yeah, this is my beater watch. I love it. Little Seiko. 1966, 67, 67, something like that. All right, next up, this one, I put this one in here because you got to, because God tier, because it's the best watch known to man, one of them. The original best watch known to man, I'm not going to put in here, although I do wear it just frequently, but this one kind of covers all, and I'll throw, you'll see what I'm talking about. Dun, 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 drum roll, please. The A158. Boom, love this watch. I literally wear this watch in more occasions than not. I could wear it at a gala. Matter of fact, I think I did wear this one to the gala this year. If I'm not mistaken, I've worn this a couple places and I've gotten quite a bit of compliments on it. Guys, this is the Casio 158. It's like a $25, $30 watch or something like this, and this is all kind of based on the F91W. We all know how popular the F91W is and how much of a tank it is. Well, this is just as much of a tank. A nice resin case with a steel bracelet, but it is still that small little digital watch design that the F91 made popular. This is just a classier version of it. Now, it's not the 168. I have that too, different coloration, colorway, but I've got about, I'll show you in a little B-roll, but the thing that sets this thing apart from the 168 is the 168 is the illuminator, and that actually has the fully luminescent screen. I like it, and I have that one as well, and I also have the black screen version to where it's the inverse, and I like them all equally for their own little quirks, but this one I've worn quite a bit in 2025. This is the Casio 158. All right, we'll set this one here. Now, I can't say this one I've worn quite a bit, although I do wear it quite a bit now, but I just recently acquired it. And this is the Seiko Prospex 1/100th of a second chronograph solar. I like this watch because I always said it reminded me of like Sputnik, and it looked like a UFO, or just very kind of like George Jetson-y, and it's just kind of funny that this one happens to run on solar. Now, this is a throwback to a 70s, 1960s, 70s model or version of this watch, and that one is obviously really cool, and I would love to have it. This one, once again, it's solar, so I really don't have to worry about it. It's good to go. Moving on, the next one I picked up and I wear quite a bit is this awesome Timex Q. Now, in case you haven't picked up on it yet, I love Timex, I love Seiko, and I love Casio. Like, I was born late 70s. All right, I'm an 80s kid. I grew up in the 80s. I'm old, not that old, I'm kidding, but I'm older. But yeah, so like the 80s, that was my life, that's my childhood. But also, so was Timex. Takes a lick and keeps on ticking. Casio, Seiko, like all those were my brands growing up. So most of these purchases are nostalgic, but also, once again, I love the chronograph dial. So when the Q came out, or when this in particular model was available, I said I must have that, and I've worn this quite a bit this year. The only thing I don't like about this, there's only one thing I don't like about this. Not the dome crystal, but the fact that it is not sapphire. It gets scuffed pretty easily, and I've scuffed it up quite a few times. I'm not gonna say I've scratched it, but I've definitely scuffed it, and I've been able to polish it off. But God forbid I get a really deep scratch, I'm gonna have to replace this crystal. And I've already looked into replacements, and they're not super inexpensive, and that's just work I don't wanna have to do. But I will if I have to, just to keep it going. Now these, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about these watches, being the fact that I did build them, but I'm not gonna try to sell them to you, although they are available on timepandawatches.com. And I'm not gonna quote the price because who knows when you're watching this, and it might be a year from now and the price is all over the place right now. Yeah, I'm not even gonna do that to you guys. But what I am gonna do is show you the pieces and talk about them a little bit. Now, Time Panda Watches builds homage style watches and or custom watches, and we will take custom orders from clients and we'll put things together. But we also do homage style. You know, I'm not gonna say I'm building fakes or phonies because I'm never gonna put Seiko, I'm never gonna put Rolex, I'm never gonna put anything like that on my dials. But I will build you a watch, let you select it, make you select all the parts, and put it together for you. Obviously, I call this one the Little Yachty for a reason. We all know what this one resembles, but I wear this one all the time. I love the way it looks, guys. I'm not gonna lie. If I can get the Yachtmaster, I would, but I can't. And for me, for what I do, this ticks all the boxes. And more importantly, when somebody says, oh, that's a nice watch, I'm like, yeah, I built it. That's more of a conversation starter sometimes than I get with, yeah, it's a Rolex, or yeah, I built it. I used my own hands, you know, and I put this together, and I also do it for other people, and I get people into affordable watches. So these watches are just great little like conversation starters for me. Oh, by the way, you guys like this watch roll? This can also be purchased at Rothwell, San Francisco. Set this guy here. I've got this build. This is a 38 millimeter GMT. I love this bracelet, by the way. I love just the way this whole thing feels. This case is just, it's me. It's definitely my style. I love that dial. I built this one up for myself, but also for a client. When I was building up the clients, I said, I'm gonna build myself one too. And I wear this one quite often. I love the GMT. I've always said GMT is probably one of the most useful functions next to a tachymeter, right? Tachymeter, not tachyometer. I think the tachymeter and this are two of the most useful complications that anybody can have on a watch. This is only the Caller GMT, it's not the Traveler GMT, although for my uses it serves just fine. I get quite a bit of compliments on it. And if you want this, it is available at timepandawatches.com. Go check them out. And last but not least, we got Pinky, or I gotta call it Little Rosie. This one, this is just another beaut. I built this one. If I'm not mistaken, this one says Panda Built. No, this one doesn't say Panda Built. My other watch says Panda Built. But I love this dial. I love this case. I just love this entire build. I got the Exposition case back on it. Once again, this is my, I don't mind a little bit classier of a piece. I'm maybe not being so running around. I'm definitely not filming. I'm definitely not on a shoot day or anything like this. This, I'm in a little bit nicer of a setting. This is when I put this on. Because one, it's pink. Although I think this rose, pink, and mixture just hits, especially with those Roman numerals. Look at that. That's good looking. I'll get some B-roll of this too. But yeah, I love the clasp. I love the bracelet. Now this one is a little bit more expensive of a build. Also, yes, the movement prices have gone up through the roof. The GMT, the date only complications. Even the VK63 movements have gone through the roof. So I apologize, guys. I'm trying to keep that as low down for you. But this isn't about selling. This is about the watches of the most ones I wore. So out of everything I have, these are definitely the watches that I wore most this year. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna leave you guys here with little Pinky. So anyways, guys, these are my 5 most worn watches for 2025. Thanks so much for hanging out. We've got so much planned for 2026 with Hearst & Co., with Time Panda, but really focusing on what's going on with Hearst & Co. Time Panda is still going to be doing its thing, making awesome watches for you guys, but there's some big things happening with Hearst & Co. and I can't wait to share all of it with you, but you're just gonna have to wait. Or you could just follow us here on Time Panda TV, which is another announcement. I might be changing the name back to the Dial 24. A whole bunch of stuff is going on. There's a whole big plan to it, I promise you. But either way, the vibe, everything is still gonna be the same. So, like I said, guys, thanks for hanging out. I'm Phil. This is Time Panda TV, maybe the Dial 24. I don't know, we'll figure it out. We'll get it going. I'm only a few videos in. I'm not Mr. Beast or anything like that where it's gonna be detrimental. So once again, guys, thanks for hanging out. Love you.